Hello and welcome to the concluding part of Let's Break Ultima 5 Lazarus. In the previous episodes we have explored the Avatar's drug dependency, dressed YOLO up as Jesus and gave him the power to kill people with a wave of his hand, stormed Blackthorn's castle and killed most of the Shadow Lords. The chances are pretty good that the guy who will tell you the word for Hythloth is now dead, which poses a bit of a problem. In any case, we can't ask about him at New Maginsia anyway, since it has been purged of all life bar the sheep. Since we don't have the word, we'll have to do some crimes. Anyway, go to Hythloth, which is on the Isle of the Avatar. Do this by going into the sea as usual, but make damn sure you've stocked up on all the essentials, food, potions and blink reagents before starting out. At the dungeon entrance, convince the rock to go away. Since you don't have the word, get YOLO to kill it using the sledgehammer or the erase spell. When the rock is dead, get the party to sleep for about 8 hours, after which the corpse of the rock will have been eaten by rats. You can now just saunter into the dungeon. In fact, this should work on all dungeons if you're so willing. If the dead rock won't go away, just keep trying to click past the rock until you find the right angle to walk through it. It's not that hard.
'Twill be done.
From here on, you'll just need to go into the dungeon and get the shard. There's a lot of blinking involved, hence my note about stocking up. Don't bother about Uncle Enzo's quicksword, as it's totally stuck in the anvil. In fact, if you've found the quicksword, you've gone the wrong way. Once you have the shard, either VPR out to Trinsic or work your way back to the dungeon. Getting out through the dead rock is easier than getting in. In any case, get thee to Serpent's Hold and make your way into the keep. Find out the name of the sole surviving Shadow Lord and kill his ass too. And then there were none. The plot now grinds to a total halt. We have no idea what to do anymore. Neither the dead king nor Blackthorn will acknowledge the extermination of the Shadow Lords or hint at what needs to be done next, which makes things hard. Never mind, go back to Cove. Around the area of Kafiristan Pass there is a large tower, Stonegate. Blink your way up to the tower entrance and you'll be confronted by a demon who warns you of the terrors within and his dark master. Neither of these exist. In fact, I'm not sure what he's on about. Answer his riddle, or not, as the case may be. Although he says he'll kill you, he can't, so just push past him and run up the stairs to where this nice little stick is being kept. Grab it and leave, ignoring the demon completely. The plot is still ground to a halt, but somehow, somewhere, I read rumours about another one of Lord British's trinkets. I think it might be in Destard. Let's go and find out. Once again, do the rounds at Cove and Britain to get yourself sorted out for ease and whiz. First, VPR back to Trinsic, which is closest to the dungeon.
Go inside. Tell them you are the Avatar.
Actually, go into the dungeon and kill lots of orcs. Then find the amulet, which is way down in the swamps, so make sure your entire party has swamp boots first. You can buy those from the trader in Yu.
Done.
The plot is still ground to a halt. In fact, we're completely winging it now. So what would Brian Eno do? Let's check the oblique strategies. Brian says, do nothing for as long as possible. That's not especially useful, so let's ask the Codex instead. But before the Codex will tell us anything sensible, we'll need to sort out the remaining shrines. Keep one or two easily accessible shrines intact, such as compassion and spirituality. You can use those to buy more karma as and when you need it. The rest should be introduced to Iolo's sledgehammer as soon as they have ordained their quests. The only issue this will raise is that the Shrine of Spirituality has been stricken from the VPR scroll destinations in 1.2. However, if you wait until midnight, you can use a moongate to reach it. Once all these are done, it's time to visit the Codex one final time and learn the word that will take us into Dungeon Doom. So make sure Iolo brings his hammer. You may save the game afterwards this time. Now that we have the crown jewels, it is time to clean out Lord British's castle in anticipation of his return. By this, I mean clean out the people inside it. The revolution has begun, and Chuckles the Jester should be first against the wall. Have Iolo kill him, and put his cap on Shamino. While you're at the castle, get LB's sandalwood box, using Blink to enter the secret chamber. This is the box which Lord British uses to hide all his pot and coke, which is why he's so incredibly desperate to get his hands on it as soon as possible.
I will get that box from him, Rat, for it will give me power. Power over all.
Make your way to Dungeon Shame, using Iolo to nuke the rock guarding it, and after a long journey, grapple down the hole at the centre of the lava island. Did I say lava? It's actually orangeade, which explains why it goes splash and how the party is able to walk in it without being vaporised. Don't worry if the path to the hole is blocked by rubble. Just reach down into the hole to the grapple arrow. You don't need to be very near to these things at all in order to use them. Telekinesis might work too, but since I've never tried that spell, I don't know. Now you're inside the dungeon seal. Since you should know the word from the Codex, you can either say it or simply get Iolo to kill it and walk through. Make your way north and then west to Willy Wonka's Orangeade factory and blink down through the door, having first dispatched all the liches and other terrible monsters in your path. There's allegedly a switch to open this door, but I've never found it. Going down to the final segment of the dungeon, the blink spell becomes very useful. You can skip most of the dragons and other nasties by beaming yourself across the stream, then down to where the demons are, and finally through the wall to where the magic mirror is kept. Soon we will be face to face with Lord British himself. With the sandalwood box in his possession, he will be able to send you home, depose the tyrant Blackthorn, and generally right all that is wrong with this world. That's the theory. In practice, things won't be nearly this easy. Make your way through the magic mirror to where the true King of Britannia is held prisoner. Watch out, he can be very, very dangerous. Run away from him when you see him and start the conversation from the safe distance.
Of course, Avatar.
This really is at its best in 1.1, as by now the entire planet is attempting to lynch the party for their grim deeds. This includes the king. You can simulate this to some degree in 1.2 by having your party members assault him and then have the Avatar talk to him while he's distracted from the task of dismembering the rest of your party one by one. Firstly, you can forget the sandalwood box and arm the entire party with glass swords. Enter the soul mirror and talk to the king, as mentioned, from a safe distance. Have everyone set to attack freely. When the king finds out you've forgotten the box, the words "the end" will fill the screen and it fades to black. In the background you will hear punching, the sound of 5 glass swords breaking over the king's head, and ultimately the Avatar's death screams at the hands of his deranged liege. Otherwise, you can do it properly, which is even more strange and terrible. Talk to the king. He'll get straight to the point and demand the sandalwood box full of drugs. As soon as he has it, he will say thank you and immediately rewards the Avatar by murdering him on the spot. You will hear the Avatar's scream of agony during the congratulations sequence, and the screen will fade out to a fascinating collage of images such as this. So far we have been looking at the game as played in 1.1. While the anti-walkthrough was being developed, an updated version of the game, 1.2, became available. 1.2 made a number of fixes and improvements, not all of which sit well with the anti-walkthrough. In particular, key followers such as YOLO and Shamino will become increasingly twitchy as your karma diminishes. Below a certain threshold, they will actually break faith with the Avatar and leave the party. Given that the anti-walkthrough spends a large amount of time killing bad people, this posed a problem, so I made a 1.1 compatibility patch called the Gamma Project. While the patch does prevent them from leaving, I was never quite able to stop them from talking about it. so instead they will simply say more appropriate things. While this can be annoying, especially when the avatar is trying to sleep, I do agree with the underlying principle that there should be some penalty for going entirely rogue. Anyway, let's take a look at some of the key scenes which require a different approach in 1.2. We'll start with the assault on Castle Blackthorn. In 1.2, this will not be quite so easy, in that the guards actually do protect the castle from intruders, unlike in 1.1 where they stand around all day eating donuts or something. Fortunately, I have a cunning plan. Approach the castle entrance. If you get too close to the guards, one of them will call out and it will probably all be over. So instead, go up the stairs and to the empty space to the right of the guard by the right-hand tower. The guard won't care about this, so attack them with a fireball spell and run back down the stairs. They will follow, probably accompanied by the other guard. Keep on running until the guard gives up and turns around, then attack them. Keep doing this until both guards are dead, and then pick through the corpses, upgrading your stock armor and shields with oppression models. If you can, take any spare oppression chainmail, as we can fence these off at Britannia for 350 quid each. Once the first two guards are dead, you have a fairly easy run, since the others won't try to prevent you entering. However, they will be pretty pissed at what you've done, so we aren't out of the woods yet. Probably a good idea to save once the first stage is successfully accomplished. So, make our way back to the castle entrance and you'll find two more guards covering for the pair we've just murdered.
Right, at thy command.
As you can imagine, they're very angry and will probably attack you on sight. But you can do exactly the same trick again. Now that we've dispatched 4 guards, we have a shot at the throne room. What I suggest is that you go into the throne room itself, and the demons, also being pissed at the killings, will come out after you. Lead them out, one by one, to the stairs outside the castle, and kill them with a glass sword each. Grab the money and the spellbooks. Now you have 3 fire mages. Note that in 1.2 the blink spell has been disabled by default, as the developers were never able to get it to run in a reliable fashion. Because of this, it has to be enabled via an unsupported mod. Unfortunately, the grappling hook uses the same internal mechanism as the blink spell. Because of this, the act of climbing a mountain will occasionally result in the grappling hook eating the entire party, causing them to vanish into thin air on the slopes of the mountain, like Picnic at Hanging Rock. In 1.2, the skull is in the chests just inside the castle and not actually in the vaults at all. To enter, however, you will need to give the guard skeleton the word, which we don't know. Single out this one skeleton guarding the entrance and kill him with a hail of fireballs. Then jump back down the mountain and wait a day or so for the others to calm down. Once it is dead, none of the others will prevent your entry into the castle. Now you can proceed. Talk to the demons and promise to find the skull. Find the servant and give him a VPR scroll or 1-inch video recorder as for 1.1. Now, it's tempting to give Seoban his skull back, since he'll then be happy to help you waste Alistaria, Pootle and everyone else. In practice, the poor guy ends up being killed, usually by his brother, so it's probably better to do it ourselves. Note, Seoban must only be given his little present when Alistaria is on screen, or he'll wedge the game. On account of the fact that 1.2 is even more bloody difficult than 1.1, I suggest the following strategy. Wait until Alistaria goes upstairs to the crypts in the basement, the castle apparently having been built upside down, and then take her out with a glass sword or a hail of fireballs. Once this is done, run away before the other inhabitants have a chance to avenge her, and wait for things to calm down. Next, go back and take out the humans and skeletons. It may help if you have already taken Alistaria's spellbook. Because the demons now actually pay attention to what's going on, they will become upset if they catch you stealing or murdering the inhabitants. Hence, you will have to climb up the mountain, commit your crime, jump off the cliff, and wait one day for everyone to calm down again. In true Buffy the Vampire Slayer style, no one ever seems to notice that the students are brutally murdered one by one. When you have got your fill of treasure, either walk or VPR to Minok. If there's anything left over that you can't carry, jam it into the chests in the vault, otherwise Seoban and Frail will have stolen it by the time you return. At Minok, go to the Bay Inn and then sell off all the booty. While doing this, I hit upon a truly beautiful little scam.
Dost thou need me?
In 1.2, the guards will accost you and demand half your money. Making sure all your followers' weapon systems are armed, accidentally bump into one of the guards and refuse to give your money. Refuse to come quietly, and seconds later the guard will be very dead. Get Julia and the others to strip the body of possessions and then go to the Bay Inn and sell it to the innkeeper, who will happily pay you about $1,000 for the armour and weaponry of a guard whom you've blatantly just murdered right outside his shop.
Yes, my friend?
After you have done this for the first time, the other guards will panic. Instead of demanding your money, they will now simply try to kill you, which I guess is understandable. Also understandable is the fact that the general population don't try to kill you, since they have evidently had quite enough of their money being taken from them. It is, as they say, a win-win situation. The guards won't be able to steal people's money anymore, you'll earn about 4,000 gold coins for the effort, the innkeeper will get a collection of some serious shiny, and generally everyone will be happy. Except for the guards, who will be dead. I believe there are about 4 guards in Minok, although soon there will be none, and we will have earned enough money for 40 karma points from the Shrine of Sacrifice when that time finally comes. Note that the presence of a Shadow Lord will override the guards' dialogue, thereby preventing them from shaking the avatar down properly. I'm not sure the developers quite thought this through.
Perhaps a verse or two of stone?
Sadly, that brings us to the end of this series. Goodbye, and thanks for watching. You can use those to buy more Kana. You can use those to buy. But make damn sure you've make damn sure you've stepped. Once again, do the rounds at Cove and return. VPR back to Trinsic, which is closest to the dungeon. The rest should be introduced to Yolo's sledgehammer as soon as The rest should be introduced to Yolo's sledgehammer as soon as they have ordained their quests. So instead, go up the sped. In particular, key followers such as Yolo and Shamino, dressed dressed YOLO up as Jesus and given him a death ray. Hello and welcome to the concluding episode of Ultima 5 blah. By now you may have found that the party has become entirely dysfunctional. Among other symptoms, the party is no longer able to rest for fear of being murdered in the night by their so-called comrades. This can be a nuisance as it means you will have to set the game to 10 times speed and wait instead of going to sleep. By now the party are so treacherous that they will in fact turn on the Avatar and kill him in cold blood.